This is a pretty neat little thing I picked up just the other day. I noticed that the T69 was on sale with a bunch of other competitively used tanks because of the Wargaming League finals in Poland. They put a little sale on for a bunch of tier 8s, and since I'd been meaning to get one of these for a while, I decided to pick mine up. So here I am breaking it in with Vegas Run. My first two games were actually solo pubs that went very poorly for me, because my team kind of threw me under the bus and I played badly. So I decided to grab a platoon mate and hopefully get some better games, which I did. It's a very small tank. It's kind of fat but quite short, quite low to the ground. Has a good view range, 400 meters at tier 8, so I threw some optics on it. 440 meter view range is 5 short of spotting cap. Not bad for a tier 8 tank. So MT25 gets lit by me and erased by the Roomba. IS-6 spotted coming into town. I take a lot of line up my shot just to be sure, because I know how bouncy those are, and the T69 does somewhat lack pan. And my last shot bounces. So the AP shells on this tank, I believe, let me just check. Yeah, 173 millimeters of pen, which is not very good. I think that's the same as the super version of this gun. So most people run a lot of heat in this thing. You can see I got a half-half split. After this match I actually revised it back to be about 60-40 in favor of AP, of course. Back in the day before the heat nerf, it used to have like 350 pen or something ridiculous, which is really, really good for a tier 8 tank. It used to be a murder machine. After heat got nerfed, people started saying, oh, you know, it's lost its usefulness. I disagree. I don't use heat that much in it. Like here maybe it would have been useful, but you can see I get a penny shot on this guy anyway before I get spotted and realise that was a mistake. Honestly, it's a medium tank. It's fairly mobile, it's decently small. You should be able to find people and just shoot them in the side of the rear. You shouldn't really need more than 173 pen out of this thing. There are times when I'll load up heat because I figure I'm going to need it if I'm going to carry a game, but more often than not, and especially in tier 10 battles, I suppose that's when you do need heat. But when you're top tier, or even in most tier 9 battles, there's no real call for it. So anyway, having got that out of the way, obviously I decided to spot mid because I do have optics on this. I do have that good view range to exploit here. I'm better off in this spot using that than in town hiding behind buildings. The other thing that this position gives me is the chance to really clip into people as they're distracted by the fighting in the city. You'll often see me bring not only autoloaders but also my Centurion and my Soviet mediums out here now, simply because it's not a position many people take and it is important to spot from here. It's also a good spot to get out a lot of damage in a hurry. So IS-2 is lit in the back of the enemy base. Don't know what he was doing there, but start putting shots into him. See also the chat's getting a bit lively. The enemy T28 Proto, Captain 44%, is busy going on a conspiracy rant about how his team is firing marshmallows because everyone needs to be around the 50% win rate. 44% isn't that close to 50, and neither is 60, which is what I have, so I don't know where he gets that logic from. So I look for shots on the T44. Just tag him there, I'm surprised I can. So you can see, gun handling isn't bad, but it's not brilliant either. It's certainly nowhere near as bad as on the French autoloaders, but it's not exactly Waffenträger A100 level either. So now I figure I can push up a little. The enemy team have lost most of their tanks. Really, I need to stop worrying about my hit points and start worrying about my damage counter. This guy conveniently appears right as I'm about to load, and so I put one of my last AP shells through him. And then, oh look, it's our conspiracy theorist friend. Unfortunately, he gets wiped out before I can finish him off. So in terms of damage, not huge this game. I've had a bunch of games since the T69 up around 3k, 3.5k damage, but the spotting was what did it. I got quite a decent amount of spotting damage in from having those optics on this tank. And you know, a lot of people have very strong opinions on what kind of equipment you put on autoloaders, but if you have 400 view range at tier 8 and you don't have optics, there's something wrong with you. T21, ever the pubbie pastime, decides to drive in front of an autoloader that's just about to start clipping and he eats a shell. I did lose a bit of money for that, but not a bad match. Not a bad tank. I really am quite enjoying the T69. I did play one match in it with everything upgraded except the engine. The stock engine was hellish. It was like driving a fucking heavy tank. It was going like 30 kilometers an hour on road. So I just said, screw it, and free XP'd all the modules. And yeah, ever since then it's been quite pleasant. It's a nice little tank. Not bad looking either. Some of the other American autoloaders can be a bit, but you know, I like my small tanks. Bit of fun to play. It's good for competitive play as well. Lots of people want to bring these tournaments or team battles, and since I don't have my 5100 yet, it's really useful for that, since my only other tier 8 autoloader is the AMX 1390, which is not a bad tank. It's just T69 gives me a bit more flexibility. The American autoloaders in general are a bit more flexible than the French ones. You can play them a bit more like a normal tank. The French autoloaders, you have to really be a fucking ninja and get in there and assassinate somebody while they're not paying attention. But it's a fun little thing to play, and probably you'll be seeing more of it, I think, because I've been enjoying playing it, and I've been having some decent matches in it. It seems to lend itself to those.